sprouts regularly? A few of you. And who eats sprouts regularly? Cool, quite a lot of you. That's great. I love this because, if this was an old school raw foods talk like 30 or 40 years ago, there's no doubt we would have been speaking about sprouts, right? That's like what was going on. But these days, there's all this kind of stuff around. And, people, I feel like there's a lot of missing out of the basics, the foundations of what really helps us in a very simple way to be healthy. People always ask us, how can I be raw in the winter, and how can I be raw? It's so expensive, and all these kind of questions. Sprout. Grow your own stuff right there in your kitchen. Fresh, living, organic, vital, enzyme-rich food for pennies on the dollar all year round. And so when I'm saying sprouts, I'm not talking about Brussels sprouts, of course. I hope we all realize that. I'm talking about the little green guys who you grow in your kitchen, full of enzymes. He's passing some around right now. Looks like sunflower greens. Yeah, I love sunflower greens. This is one of my favorite. And if you can grow your sprouts with ocean-grown ocean minerals, then you're getting everything from the ocean right there into your kitchen.
Do you soak the seaweed and then use that water?
Yeah, that's a nice idea. I love sunflower greens. So sprouting, to me, is one of the simplest ways of nourishing ourselves on this journey and making it a lot easier on ourselves. Most people are chronically disconnected from nature and from growing their own food, and sprouting can be like a step towards that. It's like there's no soil involved, you don't get your hands dirty, and we sprout all the time. We sprout on the road in nut milk bags. We got some back there. You can sprout anywhere. We are really, really, really excited to get down to our land in Ecuador and start growing food. That's like really all I see when I look forward, and all I have seen for years is I want to be on a piece of land growing food and raising children, having a family. Right now, we live in a car on the road. We grow sprouts in a bag. That's where it's at right now. And that's all that we have access to. But if you have land, if you have a house, if you have like a pot in your garden, whatever you've got, grow your own food if you can. It doesn't have to be that you have like acres and acres of land or whatever. Everybody can grow something, and I'm so excited to encourage people to do that. One of the things that has inspired me the most in recent years about growing is the Anastasia books. Has anybody read these ones? Starting? Cool. Anyone else? Has anybody not heard of these books? Oh Lord. Man, this happens every single night. I am here with a room of people who don't know about these books, and it feels like such an incredible honor to me to pass this information on. These books have sold more than 30 million copies apparently now worldwide, and they've never had any advertising. It's all word of mouth. And these books are literally changing the face of the planet that we live on. Even if here in the US we maybe don't feel it so strongly right yet, but over in Europe especially, eco-villages are popping up all over the place. People are getting to the land. People are realizing that the only true pathway to freedom is to be growing our own food and to be stepping out of the rat race and into a space where you're connected to the land, you're connected to nature. If you're living in a house or in a whatever dwelling on a piece of land with food all around you and other people doing the same thing, what more do you need? Why would you be going out into that rat race treadmill day in, day out when you have everything there? And these books, and nothing has inspired me more than these books along that line. So what are they? Well, it's a series of 9 books called the Ringing Cedars of Russia books, and the author is Vladimir Magray. So he's a Russian author, and they're all about this woman here, Anastasia. She lives contemporary with us out in the forest in Russia, in Siberia. She's about 40 years old right now. Anastasia is truly wild. She's a human, but she is nothing like us. She is way, way out there. She doesn't have a house. She doesn't have clothes, pretty much. Has like one dress. She lives wild out there, and she is totally raw. You know, she's really raw. She's not eating like raw blueberry cheesecake or raw lasagna or something. She has like a couple of berries here and maybe a nut over there and maybe a mushroom, and that's it. She just is out there in the wild, totally connected to nature, the universe, all the animals and plants around her, in the flow, accessing everything. Completely phenomenal information that she shares in these books about what we're capable of, what humans are capable of. I'm sure you've all heard that thing that we use maybe 5 to 10% of our capacity up here. Well, in these books, she shares so much inspiring information about what we can really do. Stuff that might totally trip you out if you read these things. I started to read this book and I couldn't stop. You know, I didn't want to do anything else. I just wanted to get to the land, grow food. And that's really the main vision that she shares for humanity to be moving forward, is for everybody to be on a piece of land growing their own food. It's that simple. And, you know, when I look at that, that just absolutely resonates for me. And to me, if there was only one book I could give somebody or encourage them to read, it would be this book, Anastasia, because nothing has spoken to me as deeply and truly as this. I'm sure a lot of you have seen films like The Secret or something, you know, or read a book like The Power of Now, or something where you start to read it or watch it and it just feels like truth. It just feels like absolute truth and there's nothing to question about it. That's what these books did for me. It's all of these things that you know already, your cells know, your ancestral memory knows, and it gets reawakened. So I really, really recommend these books highly.